I'm Iris Dreschler, the artistic chair, and it is my pleasure to talk to Nadav Lapid, the director of AHED'S. Hi, Nadav.
Hi.
We'll start with the character of Y. Much has been written and said by you and other people that there is a big resemblance between his character and you yourself. And that, both of you are directors, both of you are around 40, but also that a lot of your things that happen to you in real life are happening to him, to Y in the film. So my question is, why did you decide to write yourself into the script in such a personal and autobiographical way, and more than in your previous films, as you have said quite a few times in mine? And the next part is, did it make the making of the film easier or harder?
I mean, I don't think that for me, in a way, it's a matter of decision, especially not in this movie. I mean, the whole fabrication of the movie was really different from the previous ones, especially regarding the timing it took. There was a real feeling of urgency. I mean, urgency is maybe it's even more than urgency. There was something in this. Let's say that one day before I started writing the script, I didn't imagine that I'm going to do this movie, and 2 weeks and a half later, there was already a finished script.
When did you start writing the script, Nadav? When was it? Because I read that you started the shooting about 2 weeks after your mother passed away. When did you write this? Is that correct, first of all?
No, I started to write the script about 2 weeks after my mother passed away.
You started to write the script, okay.
Yeah. And it was, maybe it wasn't 2 weeks, maybe 3, maybe 4, but I started writing it around August 2019, something like this. So the rapidity. I mean, my previous films were written in 1 year and a half, 2 years, something like this. Here it took 2 weeks and a half. But mainly, as I said, the thing is that I didn't. It's as if the script itself decided and demanded to be done, to be written, to be fabricated, to be shot, and so I can't really talk about a decision to
Okay.
a real decision to use my personal story. It's more like a kind of instinct, or kind of, I think, the reflection of situation where in a way you're taken by something, or something demands its place.
Being so close to the character and understanding him so well, then did it make the making of the film? This is what I was asking, because you know him so well, in a way, he's not identical to you, but
I can tell that I think that in general, first of all, also my previous films were pretty personal, but I can tell that maybe in general there is this kind of cliche maybe about art, that art should always be in the right distance. I can say that I think that this film is never on the right distance. It's always either too close or too distant. It's always either in extreme close up or in extreme long shot. So I think this is also the result, and maybe the consequences of this developed intimacy that I had with this with this movie, and I really had until today I have like a special relationship with this movie, because in a certain sense I feel as if I somehow hardly know it, because it was really, for me, it was done in a period where I was so agitated and so affected by events, by things that happened to me. there's something stormy.
You said in one of the interviews that everything seemed to be vibrating around you before
exactly.
you.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, everything seems to be vibrating, mainly myself, and so on one hand, I feel as if it belongs to a different Nadav, to a different person. On the other hand, I'm not sitting and watching my movies, but whenever it happened, like the movies is shown a little bit all over now, and whenever it happened to me to watch one single scene, it almost hurt the level of proximity. Like I feel it as if the movie is inside me, as if I hardly know it, a little bit like one hardly knows sometimes himself, but I feel to which extent it's inside me. So yeah, so I guess being so intimate make it sometimes painful, sometimes wild, sometimes instinctive.
Yeah, I want to ask you about a few scenes in the film, and I want to start with the opening scene just because it makes sense. So I will just say what it is for those who don't know. So AHED'S is a Palestinian teenager, was then 16 and a half, and she was protesting against the presence of Israeli patrol soldiers in her area. And in a specific incident, she pushed the soldier and she even slapped him on the face. He didn't respond much. I think he pushed her away. If I remember correctly, he even said that she reminds him of his 16-year-old sister when she gets upset with him. But then Knesset member Smotrich said from the Knesset floor that for slapping him on the face or whatever she did, she should have been shot in the knee. So my question to you is, what was your reaction when you heard this?
And she was thrown to prison, to military prison for 8 or 9 months. Tamimi, after this incident. What was my response when I heard it?
What did you think about it? About the words of Smotrich?
I mean, I think that it's terrifying and real perversion. I mean, I think you know that it's beyond opinions and belief and I mean, what I think it really what fascinated me and attracted my attention is the fact that he used the word regret. Like he felt a real regret, a real sorrow, kind of sadness even that there's this young woman didn't get a bullet in her knee that would turn her, as he said, to handicap to the rest of her life. And I thought that there's a form of evilness. I mean that for me was he was. I mean, you know, I felt kind of disgust, but then so there was this immediate instinct, and then of course, I mean that's the way at least my mind is functioning. So the next thing that I try to imagine him writing is this Twitter. I asked myself, I wondered if he was in his apartment, if he was in his car, you know, if he was having a glass of wine or a glass of water. I mean, did he do like several versions because before he was happy? How did he feel just afterward? I mean, yeah.
Actually, the same scene that we're discussing, and it has different versions in it too. Like the director is searching for the right way to bring out whatever he wants to bring out regarding that incident. I'm talking about the auditioning scene. And so he's having one actress sing and the other one cry, and the Smotrich character is speaking like a I don't know, robot-like fashion. And then he talks in German, which I think for most Israelis evokes a whole set of associations that come from the culture. But then something happens which I found shocking, that the director himself takes a humongous and he is going to crush the knee. And I have to tell you that I was very glad that you didn't show this, because her scream was enough. It was really shocking. So I wanted to ask you about this artistic choice.
Listen, I mean, first of all, yeah, I'm not. I'm not about like I'm not usually doing horror things. So.
No,
I mean, myself, I couldn't have watched it if I would have shown it.
Yeah.
But you know, you asked me before about what I felt when I read this quotation of Smotrich, and I think that one thing that I didn't say is that I felt that each one of us, let's say, at least in Israel, but maybe also in other places, have inside himself also this Smotrich, and I think that in a way, I hope and I think and I believe that I'm totally not interested in doing like righteous movies where where you show the inferior moral level, or I don't know which level, while pointing them with your finger, from a position of moral superiority. I mean, for me, in a way, I remember, when I wrote this line in the script, like that suddenly after all of this director that basically he is, I don't know, in favor of Itamimi, whatever it means, suddenly takes this hammer and tells her, now I'm going to crush your knee. I think it's related to to a recurrent element in the movie, where he is at the same time the the victim and the tormentor. He is at the same time the courageous warrior for justice, and the sadistic, violent person. And I think all these aspects and all these sides and all these different facets are inside him. So I mean, at the end, he's, whatever it means, he's both Tamimi and Smotrich, and the guy who's looking at both of them as a kind of aesthetic thing, uh, an artist.
I think the same thing comes when he almost makes Yahalom commit suicide. I mean, he almost kills her. But when I saw this scene, I thought that when someone says, "Oh, you should have shot her in the knee," it's like words. We think he doesn't mean it, and well, so he would have shot her in the knee. So what? Like, she would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it's like words lose their meaning. But when you show it like this, you understand that crushing the knee is it has so many meanings. It's like bringing someone to their knees, taking away their dignity. It's a lot of things. And so it kind of brought the meaning back to the words for me, that you showed it in a very physical way.
That's true.
It was shocking.
Yeah. That's true. Also, the film doesn't begin, but in the very beginning, there's a very long shot of a knee, and I told myself, that this member of our body that I think is hardly shown in art or in cinema. But I mean, in a way, I would love each one of us to dedicate now to 5 seconds of reflections to his own knee, because I mean, there's something simple and physical about it. And as you said, also these words of this guy Smotrich, they are not allegorical, they are not metaphorical, they are physical.
Right. Well, I think if your knees don't function, then you cannot stand upright, whatever that means. I mean, a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
imagine. I imagine. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about Yahalom. She's, in my mind, mainly sweet, and she admires the director and tries to make him happy. And I even read that you actually met not Yahalom, but someone, a young woman from the culture ministry who greeted you when you came to do a screening, and she asked you to sign the consent form. But here's my question. I think that he can see in a way that she's sweet and pleasing, but somehow the fact that she's asking him to sign the consent form brings out the worst in him towards her. I mean, she makes him so angry. And I was wondering why is he so angry with her? Does he give her all this power? Or, I mean, does he really see her as a villain? Or does he understand also that she's part of the system and she's also a victim like other people? It's not, why is he so upset with her? She's very nice.
I mean, I would say that for me it's divided to maybe there are two main motives. One, that I think that he he's someone who's I think so used to exist in a permanent situation of resistance and of struggle, and so used to classify his whole surrounding as enemies, as dragons, as monsters, and his life is in a way an unstoppable struggle against these monsters. That in a way there's something about this Yahalom that is complicated to classify, because I think that when he meets her outside for the first time outside of this guest house, or maybe even before, when they exchange emails, in his head he already knows everything about her. She is she is like the bureaucrat of the Ministry of Culture, as certain people might imagine bureaucrat of Ministry of Culture, someone who's supposed to be extremely obedient, towards the political attitude of the ministry. Someone who is, this mixture of something very gray, very oppressive, with no real inspiration, with no real joy, and suddenly he sees her, and he's in a way the opposite of what he imagined. I mean, she's so vivid. She's so full of devotion to her work. She has so much admiration towards his work. More he tries to provoke her, more I mean, she's willing
She contains him.
yeah, exactly, to contain. And I think that there's something, in a way, he's in a stage, I think, when he's not willing to accept any complexities. He in the kind of stage where he's already moving forward in order to get in a kind of frontal collision with the people, with the state, with the nation, with Israel, with its government, with its politics, with its habitants, with these people from the Arava. He despises all of them without even knowing them, and she, in a way, she puts him in front of complexity.
Yeah.
But also in a very natural and automatic way. The way she's dressed, the way she speaks, the music of her voice, the choice of her vocabulary, her enthusiasm, her vivacity. Maybe in a way he's even a little bit jealous at her because he doesn't have all these attributes inside him. So I think that in order to be able to in the same time, one should say that she's, with all of these qualities, she's at the service of oppression. So I think that in order to be able to make to recreate again this distinction between good and bad, between white and black, between good and evil. He must, for him, he must in a way break her in order that she'll admit, I'm your enemy. You know.
I'm glad you're saying this because the next big scene with her, when he tries to, not when he tries, when he gets her to make the confession and he goes into this endless barrage of words that it's really hard to listen to them. He's like taking all the knives that he has in his mind and stabbing her again and again and again, and she but I noticed that in the middle of that barrage, he said, I even wrote it. He says, yet in this place of death, I feel at home. And me, Israel, Jerusalem, are bound together by unbreakable bonds. So I was thinking, what does he want from himself and what does he want from her? I mean, like you're saying to a person, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, but I love you so much, I can't live without you. So I don't want to say it in a silly way.
No, but you know,
Can you first understand yourself before you accuse others? You know, like what I'm saying. And then Nadav, I have to say, he is so brutal with her, and then he collapses into her arms, like, now hold me. I was thinking that if anybody needs to collapse to anybody's arms, it's her into his after this. So there is a deep sense of confusion, I think, of conflict in him, and she kind of is his mirror. I don't know. I mean, you talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know that it's like it's a little bit, you know, like I mean, I don't think that countries, the state is like a family, but it's a little bit like in families, you know, that as we know that the level of the proximity and the level of intimacy is turns everything, including the rage, the hate, the bitterness, including the most negative emotions, to be 10,000 times higher, and the feeling, and exactly the feeling that you cannot get rid of it, you cannot get rid of it, you cannot become indifferent to Israel, to this to Israel, and he cannot just decide from one day or another that he doesn't care. He cannot get rid of it because it's inside him, and because when he looks at himself in the mirror, he see the Israeli soul, which is in a way also his own soul.
Mm-hmm.
I think in a way this is what really turns you so furious, because you know, I mean criticizing A, B, C, D, E, F, okay, this, why not? But finding yourself in an eternal struggle also against yourself,
Right.
knowing that you're, let's say that you are part of the disease that you're trying to heal, or that you are. I mean, when you run and you crash against the wall, you're at the same time also the wall that you're crashing against. I think this is what turns him crazy, and I think, you know, he's so close to this place. He has such an intimacy with this place that this place turns him crazy. I mean, there's no other. I mean, you know, on this sense, I think that he's really. He reminds me a little bit the first founders of Zionism. You know, people who could like before, like the Israel was founded, like you know, people who could wake up sweating in 3 a.m. in the morning and write I don't know, 40 pages, you know, 40 feverish pages, why the Zionistic illusion is only an illusion, and
Who are you talking about, for instance?
people like Echad Ha'am, or I mean, and the next day they could write another 50 pages saying exactly the opposite. But it was really in their blood, in their body. In a way, I feel, in order to curse your country with all the words that you can find in the dictionary and then collapse, you imagine the level of proximity and
Yeah.
intimacy that you must have with it.
He's tormented. I was thinking that the anger is almost not a result of what's happening, but like the engine that keeps him going. Because in this scene in particular, I was thinking, is he more angry with her or with himself? I mean, it's like self-eating anger. He's so angry that it cannot be with another person because, so you say, okay, you're like this, whatever, I don't care. But you can only have a person fighting with himself to feel that angry.
No, that I totally agree. That's why, I never, I never agreed to this idea that the movie is about, I don't know, freedom of speech or artistic liberty. I think that all these themes, they exist inside, but in a way, he is already getting there so charged. He wakes up in the morning so charged. He go to sleep in the night so charged with all these emotions that in a way this disagreement, this form that is obliged or is supposed to sign, for him it's only the proof that deep inside, behind the her kind mask, there is lying the same old monster.
Someone is trying to shut him up.
Yeah.
To control him. By the way, I read that you said that you went to a screening like this and they asked you to sign the consent form, and of course you did. You, Nadav.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I was facing a little bit the same dilemma because I was talking with a friend, with a journalist, and who suggested me to call. It was in a phone call, but to call again this bureaucrat to make her, to find an excuse to make her repeat the same sentences and to record her, and I told myself that it looked to me too cruel towards her, so I've chosen to. But maybe also I wasn't courageous enough. I don't know.
Reality is not the same as art, I think. I mean, what you can do in the film, you can't always do in reality. But this leads me to another section, the artist and his audience. So he goes back to the screening. He sounds the recording to the audience. And I'm thinking, if I was sitting in that audience, I would have been like, oh my God, this is what the Alom and the government are doing to me. They're manipulating me. I would probably be very disappointed with the Alom and upset with the government. But here the audience does something completely different. They attack the director and they call him, what did they call him, a coward?
Yeah, false, a scam, I don't know. Yeah,
an asshole. Can you, I mean, you created the scene, but can you understand where the audience, why is he suddenly the villain? I mean, he should be the victim of this. And so should they be. And so they turn from victims to villains. They attack him. They kick him. They push him down to the ground. It's not nice.
Yeah, well, no. First of all, like he betrayed the faith of the daughter of the chosen daughter of the village.
Right.
She who succeeded to climb this hills of sand and to go beyond this deserted region and to become a important figure, not important figure, doesn't matter, but in the public service, etc., 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 to cross these limits. But I think that also there's a kind of imminent conflict between him and them from the very beginning. A conflict that in a way I think both sides are also cultivating. I mean, also the way he treats them, like from the beginning, he talks to them as a
But he
kind of,
doesn't like them.
yeah, as a kind of potential enemies, and so in a way, it's as if each side examine the other one, and in a way, the only figure that can be a kind of mediator between them is this Yahalom. You know, the only person who on one hand belongs to this region, to the community, but on the other hand is sensitive also to the merits and to the special, strange, unique charm of the artist. The moment that in a way is betraying, you know, the mediator, he is like he lost his protector. You know, he stabbed his protector in the back, and
Okay.
then yeah.
I thought it was amusing. I don't know if you meant it to be funny, but I think this is, I don't remember seeing a film that comes with a manual, like operating instructions, because he says to the audience, you know, everything you're going to see happen, the people are real, the events repeat themselves because that's life, so pay attention to the style.
Yeah.
So this is like, how do you operate this film? What do you mean by pay attention to the style? I mean, not you, but the director.
Yeah.
I
No,
thought this was funny.
no, I also think it's funny. I think, you know, it's my. I mean, I remember I was I looked long time for an introduction that will fit this guy, this mixture between cleverness, arrogance, hopeless arrogance in a way, and I mean, in a way, once one tells himself that the style is this thing that only very subtle spectators are attentive to.
Right.
On the other hand, this is exactly the thing that you can tell. I mean, you can't tell someone. It's almost like forcing someone to love you. I mean, you can't tell a spectator just look at the beauty of of this audiovisual thing that you're going to watch. Don't neglect my beauty.
Okay.
So there's something about him like forcing them to put attention to the style. It's on this. I mean, it's on the same. It's in the same time pathetic and arrogant and funny. Yeah, and true, and also true. You
And
know.
true. And true.
Yeah, yeah.
The other funny thing I found was that at the end of this, when he starts the Q&A or the post-film discussion, he says to them, does anyone hear any questions? Does anyone want to say anything? Did anyone think?
Yeah.
That's not a very nice way to talk to him. Did anybody think about anything?
Yeah. You know, I mean, there's always, yeah. I mean, I must say that it's always funny for me to do Q&A after the Q&A in the movie because
Yeah,
it's in a
so
way,
is
it's
this
in a way,
child really your
yeah,
child or
yeah,
not your child?
yeah. But I mean, I don't know a lot of movies where there is a Q&A already inside the movie, but then again, I think, you know, there's always like there's kind of partnership and kind of conflicts between like the directors and the spectators always, and I mean, always, I know, I mean, with my previous films also, I'm, you know, you stand there in a way dressed but naked,
Yeah.
and exposed to, even before being exposed to comments, looking at this sea of faces, trying to interpret, trying to see if they love you, if they hate you, if they are indifferent, which is the worst maybe.
Right.
But and and he's in a way, you know, someone who's all the time is not just posing question to himself. He's aggressing, he's attacking, is always like, yeah.
There is one other audience in the film that he's never angry with, and this is the mother, which I found I don't know if you will agree, but I had a sense that she was really his true audience when making the film, and maybe you too. That the film is for her. I don't know if you want to say something about that.
I can say what I can say. I mean, let's say that the mother is, I would say, is in a way my mother. Like my mother was Nadav Lapid, was the editor of all my movies, apart the last one. And she passed away during the editing of my previous film, Synonyms. And I always felt in a way that, I mean, that when I'm doing when I'm shooting my movies, I bring like gifts in form of shots to my mother. Some of them good gifts, some of them bad gifts. It depends if the shot was successful or not. But in a way, it was like a part of doing a movie. I was sending her gifts.
Yeah.
And then we had like editor and director, but even like more also like son and mother in a way, like long discussion over these shots, and in a way I think this is also why he's sending her like videos from these videos from the desert. I was sending the same, more or less the same to my mother, but in a way I think the whole movie is a little bit for me like a video that sent to my mother. I mean, it's as if the whole movie is like okay, inside there are some short videos, but let's say that the whole movie is one long video sent to someone who, of course, will not see it, will not watch it. But I can tell you, like there is this moment in the movie when is shooting for her the last minute of the day.
Right.
And I remember that during the whole shooting day, I was all the time obsessed with this moment, and especially with this question whether, because the day was so cloudy, whether the sun will appear throughout the clouds before they fall or not, for sunset or not. And the moment like that, I saw suddenly this miracle, this miraculous sound, like we stopped everything, and okay, now we should. And I mean, when we began talking about very personal, of course, that when I was shooting this shot on set, all this distinction between myself and why and the movie in real life like collapsed in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I saw it, and I saw it in the film. The level of like you say, intimacy there is. This is maybe why I asked you at the beginning if putting yourself in the film made it harder or easier. But I guess both. The mother comes back at the end of the film, and this will be my next question and the last one. But before that, I want to ask you about Narkis, and then his complete meltdown. And you know what? When I watched the film, it really changed the way I felt about him because of the way she touches his cheek again and again, which even reminded me of Ahed that slapped the soldier on his cheek. So maybe you call it the film The Knee and the Cheek, but anyway. But she says to him, "You're good. You're good," and don't be angry. And then suddenly I felt that he can't be angry anymore. He just doesn't want to be angry anymore. I wasn't sure whether he gave up or whether this is the beginning. Like, is he completely now without energy, or does he understand something that will make things better. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's everything together. Maybe it's you're not angry, you're just sad. Um, and I think that throughout the whole movie there is this notion of miracle, this question in a way whether miracles
In the desert, yeah.
exist or not. I mean, so I think like that like the big miracles, big miracles, something that will save the state from its political deterioration, or something that will save the mother from its death. Apparently, they don't exist, or if they exist, he's not capable of performing them.
Okay.
But in a way, the movie ends with a kind of small, intimate miracle that happens inside of his soul, maybe a momentary one, where someone, the main character, I think, is finding again, maybe temporarily, maybe not, the human inside him is
Right. Yeah.
like ready suddenly again to get empathy for other and to feel empathy for other, and really becomes like for some seconds maybe a part of society, of 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 humanity. This is also
You know what crazy thought came into my mind? Like you're saying, you're running scenes. What if Ahetamimi came to the scene, put her hand on his cheek, and said to him, "You're good. You're really good."
it, this,
Would the ending would have been different with her? Would he felt different? But of course, this is
yeah.
I don't make films, so it's going to stay in my head. Nadav, the very last scene when Y gets on the plane, I know he's wearing sunglasses, so we can't see his eyes. I don't know why. I think it's the only time in the film when he's wearing sunglasses. I'm not sure, but anyway. So it's very hard to know what he's feeling, but one sentence was very, I don't know how to say, touching for me, when he says, "Do you see all this now?" Like I wasn't sure what all this means. Did you see all that happened to me, or do you see all this landscape below us? I mean, it's two things. And then he says, "Say goodbye to Eretz Israel through the clouds," which I thought, talk about this goodbye. I mean, this is my question to you.
Yeah, I think like that, I think that the movie ends with a kind of double farewell and double agony and double farewell. I mean, it's in a way it's the death of the mother, and it's the and maybe for him it's the end of his relationship with Israel. I mean, it's like parting away from both. And in this sense, I mean, everything is throughout the clouds, which in a kind of ideally is for me is a little bit, the point of view of death. I mean, maybe
Right.
yeah. I mean, maybe we know that, or we believe that maybe the dead people, or are unfortunately um, some feet under, and not in the sky, but in a way, in a kind of metaphorical, poetical way. This is from there the dead look upon us.
Mhm.
So yeah, but for me, in a way, the film ends with a double farewell. I mean, if it began or throughout the film, he was invested in a kind of double struggle, double battle, one against the deterioration of Israeli society, and the other against the death of his mother. This is in a way the end.
No more battles for the near future, maybe.
No.
Nadav, a million thanks. It was fascinating. The movie is wonderful, and congratulations for the prize that you got in Cannes.
Thanks so much.
It's very impressive.
Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure.
And take care and good luck in the next project.
Thanks. Hoping to see you somewhere, somehow, not only virtually.
Inshallah. Maybe I'll be in Paris, who knows?
Exactly. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.